Hello everyone and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today we've got a very exciting 2v2 with some great players. On the north side here we see Mitvit and Ptaq, and on the south side we see Izirayd and Ptaq Zlo, otherwise known as just Zlo. All of these players here are very high skilled and are great players in their own regard. Zlo actually has a YouTube channel, which I will link below. He's not super active, but it's good to check him out. He plays a lot of Forged Alliance Forever. And we actually also saw Mitvit in a recent game on an 8v8 we cast not that long ago. So it'll be interesting to see how these players play. And don't forget, if you like these sorts of casts and other bar-related content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified as soon as it comes out. Now, this map is, we've seen it before. It's an interesting map. It's kind of lane-based in a way. You can see that both players have a kind of avenue that they're going to be going down. We can sometimes see this map played in 1v1s as well. And both teams have actually started in a mirrored position, with both Zlo and Mitvit having open avenues. And as we zoom in here to quickly have a look at what each player has started with. So Mitvit is Arm and is gone bot. Ptaq has gone bot and is Cortex. Izirayd is Cortex with bot. And what a surprise, we see another bot player here with Zlo going Cortex. As we zoom back out just to get a bit of an overview of what's going on. Mitvit is the first one to get scouts out. Being the only Arm player here, will be the only one to actually have access to ticks. Meanwhile, Zlo and Izirayd with some grunts. And no real early harass here. Unfortunately, Mitvit alerting Ptaq that the side is empty. And has made aware that there are hostile units in his backline. I mopped up fairly quickly though, so nothing really to worry about. And Zlo is about to discover that the corner opposite him is also empty. Now, a very long time ago we casted a map, this map, sorry. And we saw a very strong use of maces with Resbot support. Ptaq, unfortunately, a bit late at blocking off this side. And this single Zlo grunt here may be about to get two engineers, and Ptaq has no units in his base to stop this. Maybe an unfortunate outcome here, and Mitvit spots it. Ptaq is a bit late to move them, and that grunt is definitely gonna... Oh, actually. Oh, the reclaim and the additional damage from the grunt there manages to save the engineer. That is a great play. Meanwhile, Mitvit manages to contain that, but one grunt does get through. Meanwhile, Ptaq's forces also manage to break through into Zlo's base here. This single grunt here managing to do some damage. We'll see if this force here actually manages to accomplish anything. Gets a windmill, metal extractor, and that is it. Is he going to cancel the self-destruct? He does. And that guy there manages to also get wiped out. And so... the early stages of harass are over. The lines have been drawn, and we can see that Ptaq in a more difficult position here, having to cover the side and the middle, whereas Izirayd doing the same, having to cover the middle and the side. This puts us in an interesting position where Zlo is basically going to be fighting Ptaq on his own, and Mitvit will be fighting Izirayd on his own, whilst Ptaq and Izirayd both have to try and hold the middle player of both teams. So Mitvit and Zlo are going to have to support, otherwise we see a nice little bit of skirting here with the ticks managing to get over the wall. Mitvit also does a good job here at managing to kill some units, and then he's going over the wall as well. But Taku in a bit of a difficult position here. Radar and Engineer will die. Oh, he manages to get it behind the Grunts, which managed to save the Engineer. That's twice he's managed to save the Engineer now. Mitvit not really paying attention to those forces there, and they managed to get caught out a little bit. Not really going to be able to do much though with these forces here. They're going to get swallowed pretty quickly. And at the same time, Zlo is just bearing down on Taku. Taku's coming in though from the side. Doesn't really have any units to assist this. It's going to be getting interesting to see what Taku and Zlo are planning on doing. Taku just standing there with his commander, like, what are you going to do? I could deal with anything you send my way. Building more LLTs here, actually building a double LLT to deal with the Grunts. And Izirayd just keeping his forces in here, probably planning to go over. Yep, planning on bypassing this. Meanwhile, Mitvit is just completely open in the middle. He could just walk straight to Izirayd's base here, and he will be able to do nothing about it. Although Mitvit does not know that, and gives both players on the opposite team time to react. Now, Zlo has managed to get a sizable force around the back of Taku. At the same time, Izirayd doing the same, but a transition to tanks might make this a bit more difficult for Izirayd. They're going to get caught up there, but this force of Zlo's is going to be able to do a substantial amount of economy damage to Taku. Meanwhile, we see Mitvit's forces here getting caught up on Zlo's reinforcements that are coming in, and Mitvit is not paying attention and leaves his guys grouped up, and they are going to get mopped up without doing much damage, unfortunately, as they're taking a massive amount of flanking damage. That is a big mistake there from Mitvit. And we see that Taku managed to hold off the assault on his side, but we're starting to see difficulty here from both players to manage their lanes appropriately. With bots being able to transverse across all of these hills, it's difficult to hold your lanes. Taku having to send all his forces here, but that leaves this open section completely undefended. And we may be about to see some trouble here for Mitvit. And the maces come out, sorry, the thugs come out. We will also get surrounded by all the Grunts that were hiding in the wings. And they will go up very quickly. Taku urgently rushing to get some forces into the middle. And trying to block off Zlo's escape. Now the transition to vehicles here might be key. He's got tankier units that are going to be able to push through these lines of defense. And we're seeing a bit of good teamwork here going on from Mitvit and Taku, as they're sharing resources to try and keep these tank production rolling. And Mitvit's comm is extremely exposed right now. I don't think necessarily that Zlo and Izirayd are aware of that. They are not. But we do have a vehicle transition as well from Izirayd. I would say that the North team definitely at a disadvantage here when it comes to unit numbers. This earlier transition to vehicles does mean that Mitvit has less units on the field. And controlling this front line and all this reclaim is going to be key to this battle, I think. Tanks about to get surrounded, and Mitvit's comm is in a very difficult spot here. Bombers coming out from Zlo as well. Mitvit needs to fall back here with his commander. All of his tanks are basically dead. As the bombers come in, Taku urgently rushing to get some form of air defense up. But they are going to hit their mark and do the damage required. Mitvit's comp still somehow alive. For how long? I don't know. Some good bombing runs from Zlo here. It's just so much going on. This assault here, this reinforcement wave is getting just mopped up by Izirayd. As this complete left side flank here has basically stopped any movement at all, and all fighting is taking place in the middle. Taku's calm and Zlo's calm both on the right. Mitvit still right outside of Izirayd's base in the middle here. Surrounded by both Izirayd and Zlo. What is he going to do? Trying to keep his forces alive, but surely he's just about to get surrounded. Both Zlo and Izirayd have a mountain more troops than Mitvit and Taku. And here we see Taku, Mitvit's calm. About to get surrounded. 40% health. Missed the D-gun. 30%. Izirayd's reinforcements come in. 0%. 0%. 8 health. Mitvit's com has 8 health. Oh, and the final shot hits him, and he goes up in smoke in the middle. Now that's 1.5k metal on the map. Both Zlo and Izirayd are rushing to get there to contest that fight. Meanwhile, Zlo's managed to get some forces around the back of Taku, and this is not looking good for the North team. Mitvit not paying attention, losing all of his forces that were stationed in the middle there to Izirayd's com. Izirayd's com at 50% health, perfectly fine. Meanwhile, there's a huge amount of shurikens coming out from Zlo as well. Seems to start to be all falling apart for the North team. These flanking forces are able to get around the hills and do a vast amount of damage. You see even more units getting over the hills now. Taku's struggling to react in time. And it's kind of tough for Mitvit to hold now. All these tanks are just going to get paralyzed. Yep. And Taku's initial assault force that he was sending a bunch of tanks through are going to get mopped up relatively quickly. These rocket trucks will cause a little bit of a dent, but doesn't really have enough to take out all of the shurikens that are there, especially if he leaves it in range of that LLP. And yeah, at this point we see the North team is about 20 less metal production. It kind of bouncing around depending on if someone's getting Reclaim or not. But the South team has about 75. The North team had about 50 when it looks like they're not actually reclaiming. Oh, we see a good amount of incisors coming through here from Taku. At the same time, we have seen a Tech 2 transition from Izirayd. With some good amount of Sheldons coming out and a bit of Pyros. We are yet to see any Tech 2 transition from top, but Izirayd did get the Comrec, so that's a lot of metal that went into that. Meanwhile, Zlo has a very large amount of construction bots in his base. And is doubling down on Tech 1. Taku's com in a bit of an open side there. Izirayd's com actually goes down there. Taku's forces managed to surround Izirayd from the south and box him in entirely. And with Izirayd's com down to a single 1v1 com fight. Question is, Izirayd having Tech 2, is the North team going to be able to get that wreck? I don't think they will. Pyros are going to push them off fairly quickly, and without any air defense, the shurikens are also going to stop any forces that are there from doing anything as well. Taku desperately trying to rush in with a single engineer here to try and get some of that reclaim, but it ain't gonna work. Meanwhile, Taku on this right side getting pushed off by the Sheldons. I don't think he necessarily realizes it yet. He is not paying attention to that bit at all. And as we just quickly take a look at the player's camera here, just see how quickly these players are moving around the map trying to decide what to do. He realizes his com's in danger, zooms out, tells them to move back, constantly zooming in and out, controlling everything on the map at the same time. This is what you can expect from higher tier players. Getting this overview quickly and then zooming back in. And as we check Mitvit, different camera angle here from Mitvit, but still trying to control this wreck. All attention for him is on that, but zooming out every now and again just to see what's going on. Yeah, as we go back to normal here, with some sumos coming out here, the wreck, unfortunately, is not getting reclaimed by that Resbot, choosing to reclaim everything else but the commander wreck first, and leaving a good chunk of metal in the bank there. Now, not looking good for the North team. Taku has gotten flanked. His commander in a bit of a difficult spot here, separated from his base and all units. Meanwhile, the South team has Tech 2. North team is nowhere near getting Tech 2. Taku has actually gone all in on air. He has no unit production whatsoever other than air. This is a Hail Mary play here if I've ever seen one. Meanwhile, Mitvit, the only one producing any units for his team, having to defend off Tech 2 units coming in. And surprisingly, Zlo not making the most of these units here. Bear in mind he can't see, so if we go player view here, he doesn't know what Taku's got. He doesn't know that Taku's stopped building units. He just knows now's a good time to push in with all these units that are coming in from Izirayd. Here come the scouts and bombers though. All they've got to do is find the commander. If he can kill that commander, it's game over. And this is the Hail Mary. Bombers are coming in for Zlo. Zlo desperately trying to get some air defense up in time. Is it going to be enough? The bombs miss their target. Zlo has cloaked. Runs out of energy whilst he moves. Did Taku see him? Bombers come in for another run. No, he didn't see him, but does manage to get the air up. Flak is going up really quickly though. And at the same time, both bases for the North team are getting obliterated. There is enough bombers here though. If Zlo moves and he gets spotted, then it's it. That's it. Oh. Oh! Zlo's been spotted. 50% health. They don't know where Taku is. Still enough bombers here to take out Zlo. Could this all or nothing actually pay off? North team has completely lost all of its bases on the map, but because his comm is hidden, missile trucks are coming in. One more bombing run is all that is needed. Will the bombs land in time? Yes, they do, and North team takes the win with the Hail Mary finish from Taku. What a great finish. Well played, both teams. I hope you guys really enjoyed that one. That was a great ending. Well played, North team. Taku's great decision there to transition to bombs really paid off. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.